The stars stretched endlessly across the black canvas of space. Among the countless points of light, some burned brighter than others. Yet far beyond the civilized sectors of the galaxy, there was a small forgotten world called Zarathus. Once it had been a thriving planet, home to a proud and intelligent alien civilization, but now it lay in ruins. Cities that had touched the skies were reduced to piles of twisted metal and stone. The sky, once a brilliant shade of green, was choked with smoke and dust. A single signal pierced the darkness, a faint, desperate call for help. The alien survivors had managed to transmit it before the last of their defenders fell. It was a call no one else had answered. Every neighboring empire ignored it. Every galactic council dismissed it as too late, too hopeless. But somewhere, far away, humans were listening. Commander Elias Kane leaned over the glowing console of the human fleet's flagship. Valor's heart, his eyes, sharp and determined, scanned the signal waveforms. His hands moved with practiced skill, adjusting frequency and power, trying to make the message clearer. "Commander," said Lieutenant Mira Chen, standing nearby. "It's coming from Zarathus. The coordinates match the system at the edge of the Vela sector, but no one else is responding. The Galactic Council won't authorize an intervention." Elias did not flinch. "That doesn't matter," he said quietly, his voice steady but firm. "We're humans. We don't ignore calls for help. Not ever." Mira looked at him, uncertainty in her eyes. "It's dangerous, Elias. The planet's under heavy attack. If the reports are true, the native civilization is nearly extinct. And there could be traps, pirates, rival factions, or worse." Elias smiled faintly, a little wryly. "Mira, you know why we're here. Humanity has a reputation, not because we seek war, not because we are the strongest, but because we stand by those who cannot stand for themselves. This is exactly the kind of mission we were made for." The fleet around them was ready, hundreds of human ships, each equipped with long-range scanners, adaptive shields, and modular weapons. Humans had built these ships to survive anywhere, to adapt to anything. But this mission was not about firepower, it was about saving lives. As the Valor's heart moved through hyperspace toward Zarathus, Elias reviewed what little was known about the planet. A warm green world once, with oceans and forests. Its people, the Zarathi, were intelligent and peaceful, but they had no allies strong enough to fight the invaders. Reports indicated that the attackers were a brutal, merciless species known across the sector for leaving nothing behind. Entire planets had vanished under their assault, but Elias and his team did not hesitate. Humans rarely hesitated. Hesitation could cost lives, and humanity valued life. Not just human life, but life itself. When they arrived at the outskirts of the Zarathi system, the view was grim. Smoke and fire rose from cities that had once been beautiful centers of culture and technology. Massive craters scarred the surface. Fragments of alien ships floated in orbit, some shattered, some still burning. "Status report," Elias ordered, his eyes narrowing. Lieutenant Chen's voice was tight. "Surface scans show scattered survivors. They're hiding underground. The attackers are still in orbit, but sensors indicate they are regrouping after heavy losses. Planetary defenses are non-existent." Elias exhaled slowly. "Then our mission is clear. We land, we rescue the survivors, and we get them off this world. No one else will do it. We are humans. We don't leave anyone behind." As the human fleet descended into the planet's atmosphere, the Zarathi survivors watched from their hidden shelters. At first, they could not believe what they were seeing. No one else had come. No one else had even tried, and now, these strange upright beings with pale skin, strong builds, and shining ships appeared above them. Their hearts, broken from years of war, dared to hope. On the surface, Elias led the first landing team. Their boots touched the scorched ground, dust and ash rising around them. The smell of burning metal and ozone filled the air. The first building they approached was a collapsed structure, but movement inside suggested survivors trapped beneath. "Team Alpha, you heard me," Elias commanded. "We go in, we get them out, and we stay alert. Zarathi lives come first. No exceptions." Using portable scanners and carefully applied explosives, humans removed debris and carried the survivors out one by one. Each rescued Zarathi was weak, frightened, and shocked. They had survived attacks that would have killed most species. But now humans were here, and their hope slowly returned. One survivor, a young Zarathi named Lyra, clung to Elias as he lifted her from the rubble. Her skin was pale, her eyes wide with disbelief. Why are you helping us? She whispered. Elias smiled gently. Because no one deserves to die when someone can help. Humans don't forget that. We help those in need, and we never forget them. The Zarathi did not understand all the words, but they felt the truth in his voice. There was no greed, no secret motive, just compassion, just courage. While humans rescued the survivors, sensors picked up movement in the upper atmosphere. The attackers were not finished. Drones and small ships began to swarm toward the human fleet. Elias signaled his officers. Defensive positions. Shields up. Non-lethal containment measures first. We are here to save lives, not destroy this planet. The humans demonstrated their famous adaptability. They projected energy shields in ways the attackers did not expect, rerouted power to protect the landing teams, and created safe corridors through burning debris for the Zarathi to escape. The aliens watched in awe. They had never seen a species so determined, so intelligent, and so fearless without being cruel. Hours passed like this. Humans moved from shelter to shelter, carrying survivors, coordinating defenses, and always pushing forward. Even when a collapsing building threatened a team, Elias was there, pulling them back. Every decision was precise, every movement calculated, yet done with care and concern. Finally, after what felt like days, the last group of Zarathi was lifted into human ships. The survivors clung to their rescuers, tears streaming down their faces. The humans smiled and reassured them. Elias turned to look at the burning horizon. We got them. All of them. That's what matters. But even as relief spread among the humans and survivors, a quiet tension remained. Sensors had picked up faint energy readings beneath the planet's crust. Something ancient, something powerful lay dormant under Zarathus. The human scanners could not fully identify it. Elias frowned. What is it? Mira asked, her voice low. I don't know yet, Elias replied. But humans have a saying. Always expect the unexpected. Whatever it is, we'll face it. That's what we do. That night, as the human fleet orbited the planet and the survivors began to recover, Elias walked along the observation deck of the Valor's Heart. The stars stretched endlessly, but this time they felt different. They were no longer distant lights. They were possibilities. Opportunities to help, to protect, to inspire, and for the first time in centuries, humans were not just rescuers. They were witnesses to a civilization on the brink, and perhaps guardians of something the galaxy had long forgotten. Lyra, the young Zarathi, approached him quietly. Why do you risk everything for us? She asked, her voice small but steady. Elias looked at her, his eyes reflecting the faint glow of the stars. Because someone helped us once, and humanity never forgets an ally. Not ever. Lyra's eyes widened, understanding dawning. The humans were different from every other species she had ever known. Not the strongest, not the most advanced, but the most loyal, the most courageous, the most human. As the first part of the mission ended, the human fleet prepared to remain in orbit. Some teams would stay behind to rebuild. Some would continue mapping the planet for survivors. But one thing was certain. The bond between humans and Zarathus had begun. And a galaxy that had ignored this call would soon learn that humanity's courage and loyalty could move more than hearts. They could move worlds. The stars twinkled overhead, silent witnesses to the beginning of an epic tale, a story of humans who never forgot, who never abandoned, who faced impossible odds with only one goal: to save life, wherever it could be found. And somewhere, deep within the planet's crust, something ancient stirred. The humans did not yet know it, but their actions had awakened a force that could change the fate of Zarathus, and perhaps the entire galaxy. But Elias did not worry. He had a simple belief. As long as humans acted with honor and courage, nothing, not even the unknown, could break them. The human fleet hovered above Zarathus, the planet below still scarred by war. Smoke and ash still rose from ruined cities, but pockets of hope flickered. Survivors were emerging from hiding places, blinking at the bright human ships above. Humanity had arrived, and for the first time these aliens felt that rescue was real, not a dream. Commander Elias Kane surveyed the situation from the bridge of the Valor's Heart. His face was calm, but his mind was alert. We need to organize surface teams, he said. There are survivors in shelters, tunnels, and collapsed buildings. Every life matters. Lieutenant Mira Chen nodded, tapping the holographic map that displayed the planet's surface. Red markers blinked where human sensors had detected life signs. "It's worse than we thought," she said. "The survivors are spread out. Some areas are unstable, some are under fire from remaining drones. Extraction will be difficult." Elias clenched his jaw. "Humans don't retreat. We adapt. Let's divide our teams and move." Teams of human engineers, medics, and security personnel deployed in modular shuttles. Each shuttle landed carefully near the most critical zones. Humans leapt into action immediately, using portable scanners to locate survivors and assess dangers. In a partially collapsed city, Team Alpha, led by Elias himself, found a group of aliens trapped beneath heavy metal beams. One of them, a young Zarathi named Terrace, had his leg pinned. His companions looked hopeless, eyes wide with fear. "Hold on," Elias said firmly. He and his team worked quickly, using a combination of strength and tools to lift the debris. "We've got you. You're safe now." Terrace looked at the human leader with disbelief. Why are you risking your lives for us?" Elias smiled gently. "Because no one should face death alone if someone can help. Humans don't abandon those in need." The aliens could not fully understand, but they felt the sincerity in his voice. One by one, the humans lifted the trapped survivors, carrying them to waiting shuttles. Medics immediately checked them, treating burns, fractures, and exhaustion. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the city, Team Beta encountered another challenge. Drones from the attacking fleet hovered above, scanning for movement. These were not just weapons, they were designed to terrify. But humans were ready. Using portable EMP emitters, the team disabled the drones temporarily. They moved fast, retrieving trapped survivors and moving them to the shuttles before the drones could react. Back on the surface, Elias noticed a pattern in the destruction. The attackers had targeted vital infrastructure, power stations, communication arrays, and supply hubs. But humans had technology designed to adapt. Portable generators replaced destroyed power grids. Mobile communication relays allowed teams to coordinate effortlessly across the ruined city. Hours passed. Humans worked tirelessly. They moved through crumbled streets, burned forests, and collapsed tunnels, never hesitating, never giving up. Slowly, hope began to spread among the Zarathi. They had never seen such determination, such courage, such unity. In one collapsed shelter, Elias discovered a family hiding beneath rubble. A mother held her 2 children close, terrified and weak. Elias knelt beside them. "You're safe now. We're taking you to the ships," he said. The mother hesitated, unsure if she could trust anyone after all the destruction. But Elias's calm, honest eyes gave her the courage to stand. Humans carried them to a shuttle, each step filled with care. While the humans rescued survivors, sensors in orbit detected movement from a different direction. A group of hostile ships was returning, faster and more organized than before. It was clear the attackers had regrouped, possibly anticipating human interference. Elias activated the fleet's defensive protocols. "Non-lethal first," he said. "We protect the survivors, not destroy the planet. Shields up, drones ready for interception." The human fleet responded with precision. Energy shields shifted dynamically to cover the landing zones. Drones intercepted enemy fighters, diverting them from populated areas. Humans coordinated perfectly, protecting both their teams on the ground and the alien survivors. Despite the danger, the humans remained calm. They had faced worse odds before. And now, on Zarathis, every life they saved was proof that humanity's courage was greater than any weapon. As night fell over the planet, Elias gathered his team on the surface for a brief rest. Fires from destroyed buildings illuminated the sky, casting flickering shadows. "We've done well today," he said, "but this is only the beginning. We must continue until every survivor is safe. Remember, humans never leave anyone behind." The team nodded, exhaustion showing on their faces but determination burning in their eyes. Each human felt the weight of responsibility, but none faltered. That night, in the quiet moments between shifts, Elias reflected on the aliens they had saved. Among them was Lyra, the young Zarathi from Part 1. She had watched humans in action, learning their values without needing words. Loyalty, courage, selflessness. She saw that humans were not just strong, they were extraordinary in ways the galaxy often overlooked. The following morning brought new challenges. The survivors needed food, water, and medical care. Some shelters were still unstable. Humans divided into teams to address each need. Engineers rebuilt bridges and cleared roads. Medics treated injuries and trained alien volunteers in basic first aid. Scientists worked with the Zarathi to restore communication systems. Through it all, the humans taught, guided, and inspired. The aliens began to see them not just as rescuers, but as partners. Together, they cleared rubble, carried supplies, and repaired broken equipment. Humans did not just save lives, they empowered the survivors to stand again. As the day progressed, sensors detected movement beneath the planet's surface. Strange energy readings pulsed from deep underground. Elias called his officers to analyze the data. This energy, it's ancient. It doesn't match any known technology. Something powerful lies beneath Zarathis. Mira frowned. Should we investigate? Elias considered carefully. We save the people first, but we remain aware. Humans are curious, yes, but we are also cautious. Whatever it is, we face it when the time comes. For now, our priority is life. While the humans focused on rescue, some alien factions still doubted them. A small group of Zarathi distrusted outsiders. They had seen too much death and betrayal. They attempted to interfere with the humans, blocking access to survivors. Elias met them directly, his presence calm but authoritative. We are here to help, not to harm. Every life we save is a life we respect. We act with honor, and we ask you to trust us, even if just a little. The alien leaders hesitated. They studied Elias, noting his honesty and the tireless efforts of his team. Slowly, they stepped aside, allowing humans to continue their mission. Trust, fragile at first, began to grow. By the end of the second day, hundreds of survivors had been rescued. Safe zones were established where humans and aliens could recover. Temporary shelters, powered by human technology, provided food, water, and warmth. Medics treated injuries, and children laughed for the first time in weeks. Elias walked among the survivors, speaking softly with each one. He offered reassurance, guidance, and hope. Each interaction strengthened the bond between humans and the Zarathi. Humans were not just saviors, they were symbols of hope, proof that the galaxy had not forgotten them entirely. Late that night, as the human fleet orbited the planet, Elias stood on the observation deck. The surface below glowed with the light of fires, lamps, and hope. He spoke quietly to Mira. We've done something incredible here. But the galaxy may not yet understand what humans are capable of. They will learn soon enough. Mira looked at him, understanding his meaning. Humans had shown courage, skill, and moral strength. But there was more to come. More challenges, more dangers, and perhaps discoveries that no one could predict. Deep beneath Zarathis, the strange energy continued to pulse, unnoticed by the aliens and humans alike. It was ancient, powerful, and waiting. The humans had saved lives, but they had also awakened something long forgotten. Elias did not fear it. Humans were brave, adaptable, and loyal. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, with courage, intelligence, and heart. And the survivors of Zarathis would remember the humans not just as saviors, but as friends, allies, and protectors. As dawn broke over the battered world, Elias addressed his team. Tomorrow, we continue. Every life counts, every action matters, and we will never leave a single soul behind. Humanity never forgets an ally. That is who we are. The human fleet remained vigilant, shuttles ready, sensors scanning, and hearts steady. They had come to save a dying planet, and in doing so, they had begun a bond that would echo across the galaxy. The survivors looked to the humans with awe and gratitude, knowing that for the first time in generations someone truly cared. The stars above watched silently as humans and Zarathi worked together, a testament to courage, loyalty, and the power of hope. And deep below the surface, the pulse of ancient energy reminded everyone that this was only the beginning. The story of Zarathus and humanity's unforgettable bravery had only just begun. The surface of Zarathus was slowly coming to life. Temporary shelters had been set up, survivors were recovering, and the human fleet hovered above, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Commander Elias Kane walked among the alien survivors, observing the gradual rebuilding. For the first time in months, there were smiles, quiet laughter, and cautious hope. Yet beneath the surface, something ancient stirred. Humans had noticed it hours ago. Energy readings that did not belong to any known technology. Portable scanners revealed that deep underground, Zarathus held devices and structures far older than anything recorded in the galaxy. The readings pulsed with a faint blue glow, a rhythm that seemed almost alive. "Commander," Lieutenant Mira Chen said, approaching Elias with a tablet displaying the data. "These structures, they're unlike anything we've seen. The energy is stable but immense. If it activates fully, it could affect the planet itself. We need to be careful." Elias nodded. "Careful, yes. But curiosity is human nature. We need to understand what we're dealing with. Knowledge is as important as courage. Prepare an exploration team. We go in cautiously tomorrow." Meanwhile, the survivors had started sharing stories of their civilization. The Zarathi were once peaceful, creative, and technologically advanced. They had lived in harmony with the planet, building cities that floated above forests and oceans. But the attackers, an aggressive and merciless species, had come to conquer, to destroy, to erase them. Among the aliens, one figure had grown particularly close to the humans. Lyra, the young Zarathi woman saved by Elias in the first mission. She followed him, curious and observant, asking questions about human behavior, their ships, and their unwavering dedication. "You humans, you risk everything for strangers," she said one evening, her voice filled with awe. "Why?" Elias smiled. "Because we have a choice. And when we can help, we do. That is who we are. We do not forget those who need us. And when we help, it matters far beyond one moment. It can change lives, sometimes entire worlds." Lyra listened carefully, absorbing every word. She realized that humanity was different from every species she had ever met. Strong, yes.
Skilled, yes.
But what made humans remarkable was their loyalty, their courage, and their selflessness. The next morning, the exploration team descended into the underground structures. The tunnels were vast, built with technology far beyond what the Zarathi had recently used. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, pulsing in time with the energy readings. Elias led the team, his steps measured, his eyes scanning every corner. "This technology, it's very old," said Dr. Soren, the human scientist leading the analysis. "It may predate recorded history. And the energy, it's unlike anything we've encountered. Careful study is essential. If mismanaged, it could be dangerous." As the team moved deeper, the corridors widened into a massive chamber. At the center, a device the size of a city towered, humming with contained energy. Humans approached with caution, their scanners recording every detail. The energy radiated a soft blue light, illuminating the chamber like a calm dawn. Elias stepped forward. "This is incredible. Whatever this is, it could have changed the course of this planet's history. And now, it's part of our responsibility to understand it and protect it." Suddenly, alarm sounded in orbit. The attackers had returned, faster and more coordinated than before. Their goal was clear: finish what they had started. Humans in orbit readied defenses while those on the surface scrambled to secure survivors. Elias communicated quickly. "All teams stay calm. Focus on the people first. Defensive shields active. We intercept attackers strategically. Non-lethal containment first. Protect the survivors. That is priority number one." The human fleet moved with precision. Drones intercepted enemy fighters. Shields shifted dynamically to protect shuttles, and energy fields blocked incoming attacks. On the surface, humans coordinated safe evacuation routes, ensuring that survivors were not harmed during the confrontation. The Zarathi watched in amazement. The attackers had been terrifying, ruthless, and unstoppable to them. But humans adapted, coordinated, and protected without hesitation. It was not brute force alone that repelled the threat. It was intelligence, teamwork, and courage. During the battle, a small squad of humans on the surface faced direct fire. Elias and his team rushed to assist, coordinating their shields and countermeasures. Bullets and energy blasts rained down, yet humans moved calmly, focusing on every detail, ensuring none of the survivors were harmed. Lyra observed from a safe distance, her heart pounding. She had never seen such bravery. Humans didn't run from danger. They walked into it to save others. Every action was deliberate, precise, and filled with care. She realized that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology, but their values. When the attackers finally retreated, the humans quickly assessed the situation. Minimal casualties among their teams, and all survivors were safe. The aliens began to understand that these humans were different. They did not fight for conquest, for power, or for revenge. They fought to protect life. In the aftermath, Elias called a meeting with the surviving Zarathi leaders. "Your people are safe. That is what matters. But we have learned something important. This planet holds technology older than any of us can fully understand. We will study it carefully and we will protect it. That is our responsibility." Lyra spoke, her voice steady. "We have never had allies like you. Never. You are not only brave, you are human," Elias nodded. "And we never forget those who trust us or those we help. Humanity believes in loyalty, in courage, and in hope. That is why we are here, and why we will remain as long as it takes." The Zarathi began working alongside humans to stabilize the planet. Together they cleared rubble, repaired structures, and restored basic systems. Humans taught the aliens new techniques, adapted to their technology, and shared knowledge freely. In return, the Zarathi shared their understanding of the underground structures, hinting at mysteries humans had yet to uncover. As days passed, the bond between humans and Zarathi grew stronger. Trust replaced fear. Cooperation replaced despair. The humans were no longer strangers, they were partners, teachers, and protectors. And in that bond, a deeper lesson emerged. Courage and loyalty could inspire others in ways no weapon ever could. But the ancient technology below remained a silent question. Its energy pulsed steadily, waiting. Humans sensed it and they respected it. Dr. Soren and his team studied it cautiously, documenting every detail without activating it recklessly. They knew that this power could either save a civilization or destroy it. And humans were careful, always weighing action against responsibility. One evening, Lyra approached Elias once more. "Do you think your people ever make mistakes?" she asked quietly. Elias smiled. "Of course. Humans make mistakes all the time. But we learn from them. We adapt, we do better next time. That is what makes us strong. Not perfection, but the courage to try, to improve, and to stand by others no matter what." Lyra nodded, understanding more than words could express. She had witnessed courage, loyalty, and intelligence in action. Humans were not just warriors, they were teachers of hope, of resilience, and of morality. The night passed quietly, but the humans never truly rested. Scanners continued monitoring the energy underground. Patrols guarded the survivors. Engineers prepared for rebuilding. And Elias kept watch, contemplating the future. The Zarathi had survived thanks to humanity. But the planet still held secrets, dangers, and opportunities. Elias knew that the coming days would test them further, not just in courage, but in wisdom. Humans were ready. They had faced impossible odds before, and they would face them again. Always with focus, intelligence, and heart. As dawn broke, the human fleet shone like beacons in the sky. Shuttles moved across the surface, carrying supplies and personnel. Survivors began to rebuild, their hope renewed, and deep beneath Zarathis the ancient energy pulsed ever stronger, as if acknowledging the presence of humans, beings whose courage, loyalty, and honor had already begun to change the fate of a dying world. Elias looked at the horizon, thinking of the challenges yet to come. "We've done well," he said to Mira, "but this planet has more to teach us and more to protect. Humanity will face it just as we always do, with courage, with intelligence, and with heart." The Zarathi had begun to understand the truth. Humans never abandoned those in need, and their loyalty and bravery were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Bonds were forged in fire, tested in battle, and strengthened through compassion. And as long as humans were present, hope would never fade from Zarathis. The planet of Zarathis was slowly healing. The survivors moved with purpose, rebuilding their homes and reclaiming the land they had lost. Human engineers worked tirelessly, repairing power grids, stabilizing structures, and helping to set up clean water systems. Everywhere humans went, hope seemed to follow. The Zarathi began to understand the true meaning of courage, loyalty, and honor through the actions of their allies. Commander Elias Kane stood at the edge of a rebuilt city square, looking at the busy activity below. Children laughed as they ran past temporary shelters while adults worked with a determination born of survival. For Elias, this was a victory, but not a complete one. The planet still held secrets beneath its surface, and those secrets could change everything. Dr. Storym, the human scientist, approached Elias with an excited expression. "Commander, we've done extensive scans of the underground structures. The energy signature is stable now, and preliminary analysis suggests it can be harnessed. But it's more than technology, it's almost alive, responding to intelligent thought." "We must be careful," Elias nodded. "We proceed with caution. Knowledge is power, but wisdom keeps that power safe. Let's involve the Zarathi leaders. They should understand and help guide the process." Lyra, the young Zarathi woman who had grown close to the humans, stepped forward. "Commander, the elders will trust you more if you show respect and cooperation. Humanity has already saved our people. If you can show us how to use this energy without harm, it will create a bond that lasts generations." Elias smiled. "That is exactly our intention. Humans do not seek power for themselves. We seek understanding and to help those who need it." The next day, humans and Zarathi gathered around the ancient device deep underground. It was immense, glowing softly with a blue light. The walls of the chamber were etched with symbols that seemed to move subtly, as if the energy itself was aware of those who approached. Humans connected scanners, control panels, and protective shields, preparing to study it. Dr. Storym carefully explained the potential. "This device can store and release energy on a planetary scale. It could help rebuild Zarathis or even protect it from future attacks. But misuse could destabilize the planet itself. Cooperation, respect, and careful calculation are essential." The Zarathi listened, their eyes wide with awe. They had never seen a species like humans, strong, intelligent, and patient. Elias addressed them directly. "We act not for ourselves, but for you. This device is a gift of opportunity, not power. It is up to all of us to use it wisely." Lyra stepped closer to Elias. "Your people, they think differently from others. They don't take what isn't theirs, and they don't fight for selfish reasons. That is why the survivors trust you." "That is why I trust you," Elias nodded. "Trust is earned by action, not words. Humans have acted, and we continue to act. Together we will ensure Zarathis thrives." While the humans and Zarathi worked together to stabilize the device, sensors in orbit detected unusual activity. Other galactic powers had noticed the humans' intervention on Zarathis. Some saw it as a threat. Others saw it as an opportunity to claim power. "Commander," said Lieutenant Chen, monitoring the readings, "ships are approaching from multiple sectors. They may be coming for the energy device. We need to prepare defenses." Elias's jaw tightened. "We will not allow anyone to take what doesn't belong to them. Prepare defensive shields, but our first priority remains the survivors and the Zarathi. We protect life first, technology second. That is how humans operate." The approaching fleet slowed as they entered the Zarathi system, scanning cautiously. They had expected easy conquest. Instead, they found humans standing firm, ready to defend a species in a world that was not their own. Elias issued precise orders. Non-lethal measures first. Intercept, contain, and warn. No unnecessary destruction. Show them the strength of humanity without harming life. The attackers hesitated as human drones and shields engaged them strategically. They were not ready for a species that fought to protect, not to destroy. Humans moved like a single organism, anticipating attacks, countering threats, and ensuring that the Zarathi remained safe. In the control chamber underground, Elias, Dr. Storym, and Lyra observed the device's energy responding to the humans and Zarathi's presence. Blue tendrils of light moved as if acknowledging their intent. It became clear. The energy would cooperate with those who acted with loyalty, courage, and honor. Lyra's eyes widened. "It knows. It knows we mean no harm." Elias nodded. "Yes, humans act with integrity. This energy responds to intent, and our intent is clear. To save, to protect, to restore." Over the next few days, the humans and Zarathi learned to harness the device's power. It was used to repair damaged cities, restore power to devastated areas, and purify contaminated water sources. The planet, which had once seemed hopeless, began to flourish again. Greenery returned, rivers cleared, and the sky lightened as smoke and dust faded. The Zarathi could hardly believe their eyes. Their world, once on the brink of extinction, was reborn with the help of humans. Lyra turned to Elias. Your people, they are more than warriors. They are teachers, builders, protectors. You have given us life again. Elias shook his head. We did not do it alone. You survived, you cooperated, and together we acted. That is the strength of partnership. Humans only help where help is needed, and we do not forget those who trust us. As Zarathis thrived, news of the humans' deeds spread. Other species in the galaxy observed with a mixture of amazement and apprehension. Humans were not just fighters, they were moral leaders, protectors, and problem solvers. Their actions challenged every assumption about strength, power, and loyalty, but not all observers had good intentions. Some galactic powers still sought the energy device, hoping to claim it for themselves. They sent envoys and fleets to negotiate or threaten the humans into surrender. Elias received the messages calmly. Humanity does not negotiate morality, he said to Mira. We act for what is right, not what is convenient. The Zarathi trust us. That is more valuable than any weapon or energy source. In orbit, humans maintained a careful watch, ensuring that no hostile ships could threaten the planet or its survivors. The fleet's presence alone was a deterrent, demonstrating that humans could protect life with strategy, intelligence, and discipline. Back on the surface, humans continued teaching the Zarathi. They shared techniques for agriculture, construction, and communication. They trained volunteers to operate the energy device safely. Humans were patient, guiding without dominating, leading without demanding. Lyra often walked with Elias, observing the work. I have never seen a species so selfless, she said. You do not seek reward. You do not take advantage. You only act to help others. That is why we will never forget you. Elias smiled. And humans never forget those who trust them. Our actions today create bonds that last generations. Zarathis will always be part of humanity's story, and we will always be part of yours. One evening, the Zarathi organized a ceremonial celebration to honor the humans. Survivors decorated the rebuilt city with lights and banners. Music filled the air and laughter returned to the streets. Lyra approached Elias with a small gift, a symbolic token representing the unity between humans and Zarathi. It is not much, she said, but it is our gratitude. You have given us life, hope, and trust. Elias accepted it humbly. The gift is not necessary. Humanity acts because it is the right thing to do. But we accept it as a symbol of our shared bond. As night fell, the stars over Zarathis seemed brighter. Humans and Zarathi stood together watching the sky, united by courage, loyalty, and hope. The planet was no longer a place of despair. It was a testament to what humans could accomplish when they acted with honor and heart. Deep underground, the energy device pulsed gently, in harmony with the intentions of humans and Zarathi alike. It was a silent promise the bond forged here would endure, and when the galaxy witnessed the actions of humanity, they would learn that courage, loyalty, and moral strength could inspire, protect, and transform more than armies ever could. Elias looked at the city below, at the people rebuilding, at the energy glowing softly beneath their feet, and felt a quiet satisfaction. This is what it means to be human, he said to Mira. Not just to survive, but to protect, to inspire, and to never forget an ally. Today we saved a world. Tomorrow we will continue to stand by those who need us. Always. The humans had not only saved lives, they had restored hope, awakened dormant power, and taught the galaxy a lesson in loyalty and courage. Zarathis had become a symbol, a reminder that humans never forgot an ally, and that their gratitude and bravery could move more than hearts, they could move planets. And in the quiet glow of the ancient device, it seemed to acknowledge this truth. The energy responded to humanity's loyalty and courage, forming a bond that would last far beyond a single mission. For Zarathis and for the galaxy, humanity had become more than a species. They had become a force for good, a reminder that courage, intelligence, and heart were stronger than fear, greed, or hatred. And as the stars watched silently, the humans in Zarathi celebrated not just survival, but the enduring gift of humanity itself. The planet of Zarathis glowed under twin suns, a world reborn from ashes. Where once there had been smoke, rubble, and despair, Now there were green forests, flowing rivers, and cities rising again. Human engineers and Zarathi volunteers worked side by side, their cooperation stronger than any battle line. What had been a dying planet was now a symbol of hope, a testament to what courage, loyalty, and compassion could accomplish. Commander Elias Kane stood on a balcony overlooking one of the newly rebuilt cities. He had walked these streets countless times since the first landing, each step a reminder of the lives they had saved. Hundreds of survivors now smiled, laughed, and rebuilt, not merely surviving, but thriving. Yet Elias knew the galaxy had not forgotten this planet. The power of the ancient energy device beneath Zarathus had drawn attention. Fleets from neighboring sectors, greedy for control, hovered in distant systems. Some sought alliances, others sought to conquer. But Elias and his fleet were ready. Humans had faced impossible odds before, and now was no different. Lieutenant Mira Chen approached, holding a tablet showing the approaching fleets. "Commander, they are coordinating. They may try to overwhelm us." Elias's expression was calm. "Let them come. Humanity does not back down from protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Remember what we always do. Defend life first. Intelligence and strategy second. Strength comes last when all else fails." The fleets drew closer, but the humans did not panic. Human ships spread in formation, shields glowing, weapons ready. Yet restraint remained their priority. Drones intercepted reconnaissance ships, energy fields protected key locations, and shuttles moved survivors to safe zones. Below, the Zarathi watched in awe. They had seen humans fight and save lives, and now they saw humans prepare for war without attacking unless necessary. Humans did not seek conquest, they sought justice, protection, and the safety of those under their care. In the underground chamber, Dr. Soren worked alongside Zarathi engineers to stabilize the energy device further. Its glow pulsed like a heartbeat, responding to intent. Humans and Zarathi had learned to operate it in harmony. It could amplify shields, provide energy to the planet, and even disable hostile technology temporarily. But the power was delicate. Misuse could destroy Zarathus. Lyra approached Elias, worry in her eyes. "Commander, what if they attack while we are here? Could the energy device be used to save everyone?" Elias looked at her with calm confidence. "Yes, but only if we act together. Humans do not act alone, and we never abandon our allies. The energy responds to courage and loyalty. As long as we act with heart, we can protect this planet and its people." When the attackers entered the system, their intent was clear. Domination, not negotiation. Yet they had underestimated the humans. The human fleet moved with perfect coordination. Shields shifted to protect shuttles, drones intercepted enemy fire, and non-lethal weapons disabled key ships, demonstrating precision and intelligence. From the surface, humans and Zarathi worked together to operate the energy device. Blue tendrils of light shot into the sky, forming protective fields around the planet. The attackers' weapons were disrupted, their ships disabled temporarily, and their advance halted without harming anyone. Lyra watched in awe. "Your people, they think differently. You protect first, fight second. You inspire, not destroy." Elias nodded. "That is what humans do. Courage is not just about strength. It is about standing for what is right, no matter the cost. Loyalty to those who trust us. That is our greatest power." The attackers, confused and frustrated, tried to regroup, but the humans anticipated every move. They redirected the energy device's shields to block attacks, while their fleet disabled enemy weapons with precision strikes. Every action was measured, every step calculated. Humanity did not rely solely on brute force, they relied on intelligence, unity, and heart. As the battle continued, Lyra noticed something extraordinary. The ancient device seemed to respond to the humans' determination. The energy pulsed brighter when humans acted selflessly, creating barriers, amplifying shields, and even disarming enemy ships without causing destruction. The device recognized intent, and humans' intent was clear: protect life, defend the helpless, and uphold honor. Hours passed. Slowly, the attackers began to retreat. Their ships, damaged and confused, could not overcome the combined intelligence, courage, and loyalty of the humans and their allies. The Zarathi cheered from safe zones, their hope renewed. For the first time, they realized that humans were not just allies. They were a force that could change the course of events in the galaxy. When the attackers finally departed, Elias gathered the Zarathi leaders and his team in the central square of the rebuilt city. Today we proved something important, he said. Humans do not fight for power, for greed, or for conquest. We fight for life, for hope, for those who cannot defend themselves. You now know the strength of loyalty, courage, and honor.
And you also know that humanity never forgets its allies. Lyra stepped forward holding a ceremonial token, a symbol of gratitude from the survivors.
Commander Kane, you and your people have saved our world, taught us hope, and shown us courage beyond measure. We owe you everything. You have our eternal trust and friendship. Elias accepted the token with a gentle smile. We do not need your thanks. We act because it is the right thing to do. But we accept your friendship because humanity never forgets those who trust us. Together we have done what no one else could. Zarathis will thrive, and the bond we forged today will last for generations. The Zarathi celebrated into the night, their songs and laughter filling the streets. Humans joined them, not as conquerors, not as rulers, but as companions. Children ran past, playing safely in the light of the restored city. Elders smiled, finally free from fear. The planet, once broken, now stood as a beacon of what courage, intelligence, and loyalty could accomplish. Deep underground, the energy device pulsed softly, as if acknowledging the humans' actions. It had tested their intent, judged their courage, and responded to their loyalty. The device was now in harmony with the planet and its people. Humans had not just saved a world, they had earned the trust of a civilization and awakened a force that would protect the planet for generations. As dawn broke, Elias stood on a hill overlooking the city. Mira joined him, watching the sun rise over forests and rivers restored to life. You think the galaxy understands us yet? Mira asked. Elias shook his head. Not yet, but they will. Humans do not forget allies. We do not abandon the helpless. We act with heart and honor. And when the galaxy sees what we do, they will know. Loyalty, courage, and compassion are stronger than fear or greed. That is humanity's legacy. From the rebuilt cities to the flowing rivers, Zarathis thrived. The survivors had regained their confidence, rebuilt their homes, and discovered hope for the first time in years. And at the center of it all stood the humans, a reminder that courage could inspire, loyalty could protect, and selflessness could transform an entire world. The fleet remained in orbit for a time, ensuring stability, training the Zarathi, and sharing knowledge. Humans left permanent teams to assist with long-term rebuilding, knowing that their presence would continue to strengthen the planet's recovery. But eventually they would depart, leaving the planet in the capable hands of the Zarathi. Lyra approached Elias one final time before the humans prepared to leave. Your people, they are unforgettable, she said. I will tell future generations what you have done. Zarathis owes you life, hope, and a future. Elias smiled. And humanity never forgets its allies. We will remember you, Zarathis, and every life we have touched here. The bond we have created will last, and one day, it may reach across the galaxy to remind others that loyalty, courage, and honor matter more than fear or greed. As the human fleet departed, the people of Zarathis watched with gratitude. The sky was no longer a symbol of fear, it was a promise of hope. Humanity had arrived not to conquer, but to protect. They had proven that courage, combined with intelligence, loyalty, and compassion could achieve what no weapon alone could. And somewhere deep beneath the planet, the energy device pulsed gently, now in harmony with the people it had been created to protect. It would remain a silent witness to the actions of humans, a reminder that one species acting with heart and honor could change the fate of an entire world. Elias looked out from the bridge of the Valor's Heart, the stars stretching endlessly beyond. This is why we are humans, he said quietly to Mira. We protect life, we inspire hope, and we never forget our allies. Today we saved a world. Tomorrow we will continue to stand for those who cannot stand for themselves. That is our legacy. That is humanity. The galaxy watched silently as humans and Zarathi stood together, a story of loyalty, courage, and hope unfolding among the stars. And in that story the truth was clear. Humanity never forgets an ally, and their gratitude and bravery can move worlds.